This is the newly recapped power supply from that dead monitor that I'm in the process of fixing. And it's pretty much all the electrolytics have been replaced. Handful of bodges, like for example this one, didn't have any 22 microfarad 50 volt caps. Problem is I couldn't read the rating on it, as it was right up against the heatsink. So I replaced it with a 33 microfarad 35 volt one. Just looking at the circuit, it looks like that's probably the high side buffer cap for the drive circuit. Because it looked like this is one of these, it's just one of these single chip switcher controllers, which from similar ones that I've seen in the past, and kind of like a stink bug. That is a cap that's used to supply the gate drive for the main switching FET. So anyways, I wouldn't expect it to have to see anywhere near 50 volts because most FETs can only handle up to about 20 volts on the gate without blowing up. Also this one, this was a 47 microfarad 50 volt cap right there. I replaced it with a 47 microfarad 100 volt one, but because of the size and because this is also only rated for 185 degrees Fahrenheit, I didn't have any caps in that size of a sufficient potential. I just put some bits of wire insulation on the leads and bent that so this is at about the bottom of the case, because when the power supply is mounted, this is the bottom. So it should help keep it fairly cool. And you got a bad cold or something. So anyways, but if that one does blow up, I will get, next DigiKey order, I will be ordering more of the requisite parts. And one other bodge, the 2200 microfarad 10 volt cap, which is bold. Probably going to do a video on just chopping this thing open just to see what's inside. It probably will be horrible. But the ones that I got as replacement, 10 volt 2200 microfarad, it's narrower, but it's a lot longer. And it was actually too long to just put straight down in the case, so I have it put in at a bit of an angle. And these two capacitors, that one there and that one, were actually, or at least they're allegedly, United Chemicon / Nippon Chemicon. But just because of the temperature and because these might be fake, because the printing quality isn't slightly as good as some of the ones that I got, which are genuine United Chemicon. This is actually a little bit of a bodgery that I experimented with trying to make. No, cat, don't jump up on the table. But that was a bit of a bodge that I experimented with making in place of this cap, but just figured I'd be able to sort of quasi shoehorn that in there. And I did. And it does fit, knock on wood. Then there were the, these are the 1000 microfarad 10 volt, or there was one of them. I replaced that. That one was about the same size as the legit one. But, yeah. I think it's narrower but taller, which is generally good, as more surface area means that it's more easy to means that the more surface area to dissipate any heat. Cats. Yeah, but then what other bodgery was there? There was this was the 1000 microfarad 25 volt cap. This is one of the Nichicons that I replaced it with. Cats. Bloody stupid beast. But anyways, this is, you can see that the one that I replaced it with is physically bigger. As a comparison for a lot of these crappy ones, this is a JWCO one that I got branded. This is from Janeco, one that I ordered many years ago back when I was starting with this stuff. Allegedly -40 degrees Fahrenheit to 221 degrees Fahrenheit, but you can see it's about the same size as the Crapson, and Same rubbish printing, whereas the one on the genuine Nichicon one is higher quality, of course. But so yeah, right now these are just ones that I keep as specimens. I pretty much only order from, well, caps from Jameco now, if they're name brand ones, because the ones that they send might be okay for experimental use, but a lot of the stuff, even when I do it with experimental use, it's often the kind of thing, oh, it's a little bodge thing that I need to build, and it ends up being in service for many years, so, yeah. And also the main input ripple suppression cap, again, craps on. Probably cut this open, and because I have a number of them, I'll probably experiment with blowing them up just because, you know, spody things. But, yeah, and, yeah, because it's about the same diameter, but, actually, I think it might be, it's about the same diameter, but, again, the legit cap, which is a, again, Japanese-made United Chemicon one, is substantially bigger, and in fact, it's actually, the one that I put in, it was actually impinging right on this, Y cap. That's the, one of the, part of the noise suppression guff, and then, of course, there's the, let's say, NTC, that's just the inrush current limiting, nothing fancy there. There's a polyfuse. One interesting thing, though, is that this PCB, it had, in the holes, it has these insert things. Both the big cap and the PTC have that, which is fairly interesting. You can see the little metal gizwizzies right in there. Whether it's just a kind of a rivet thing that goes in the hole, and then the focus, thank you, and then the capacitor or the component lead is just inserted through the rivet, which is somewhat interesting. Never seen that before. So yeah, knock on wood, this bloody thing will work. And then just also replace that one, which is a 25 volt 470 microfarad one. I just replaced it with a 25 volt 1000 microfarad one. That's just a ripple suppression capacitor on the 13.8 volt supply to the backlight driver. Again, given the age of this thing, it uses cold cathode fluorescent backlights. And those are just some, I guess, some of the thermal management. Those are acting kind of, those jumpers are acting like heat sinks, because the board, they go right across where the two switching devices for the inverter are. Then there's just a, I think it's probably something like a TO494 SG3524 type IC. And the switcher driver. And of course all the high potential stuff on the lamp side of the backlight driver has all this goo on all the terminals. That's just because there's a couple thousand volts on those things when the lamps are starting. Yeah, so anyways, otherwise fairly decent, you know, clearance and creepage and everything. It's just rubbish components. Yeah.